the First Look Seminar and Gino Bacola. We are right back at it again after yesterday's preview of a pick six that just ended. Fairly chalky. I think it paid somewhere near around exactly $688, I do believe. But now we concentrate on the weekend, my friend.
That means a lot of people have some money to fire away tomorrow on Saturday for a lot of the wagers that we've got going on. We're going to be previewing the pick five here, the late pick five sequence. And remember, because Gulfstream Park canceled today, the coast to coast pick five and that sunset six, the carryovers will move to tomorrow's sequences. So if you were trying to play the races today, don't worry, you can still play those carryovers tomorrow. And then all the other stuff that we have on track, I think it's Oktoberfest this weekend. So really good on track experience. Contest players want to go to ExpressBet. And then if you're a sports fan, you want to check out pick'em.santanita.com or just check out Georgie's nose hairs right there as you're.
Well, I think Georgie is still feeling the fumes from the 1983 bunker yesterday, but he has moved locations. And George, you're feeling good there, or you falling asleep? What's going on?
I'm a little drunk because I had so much vodka. That's why. Because I had a lot of vodka. I'm better now.
I thought you might be a bobblehead for a minute.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going on there.
That was my drunk impression. I'm not a good actor, but boy, did I love vodka.
Voice acting, though, you're fantastic, George.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
Seminar Skip joining us as well. Zenyatta in the background, and is she back there?
She is not. She's laying down in the hallway, so she's not on her bed. She had a rough day. Today. She went for a long walk and worked out with mommy, and she's a little tired right now.
All right, well, let's wake her back up because it's late pick five time for tomorrow at Santa Anita. First post exactly 1 o'clock, as well as Sunday and Monday. So, Georgie, since you're a little drunk on vodka, let's start with you. We kick it off in race 5, 6 furlongs, maiden 50 on the turf. What are your thoughts here in the first leg of the late pick 5 on Saturday?
When you're a little drunk, one of the best places to go is Reno. And I think Reno is going to go right to the lead and never look back. Reno's run into some really good runners. Mescalero was well meant that day that Reno came in third. Took a lot of action, a lot of smart money. So definitely that was a tough one. Arrakis met some tough ones. So I think Reno is the one to beat. Hector Berrios, what we talked about it, one of our favorite jockeys. And so unless one of the first time starters can run, I just don't see anybody. Burning Rubber's got speed, but not the kind of speed Reno has. Reno's probably going to be a single for me in most bets.
All right, so the single there, the all-important drop in class skipper and a lot of speed. Is that a gate to wire threat, or are you using more than Reno, who George is taking all his vodka money and singling in Reno?
I'm going to do the same just because I think the later part of the card is very difficult for me. So I got to go skinny early. The only other horse that I think maybe could do it would be Burning Rubber, the 3. JJ Hernandez jumps aboard that one. But, I like the outside with, Reno being outside of that one. Peter Urton always does a great job, and he's got a really good percentage when they go from maiden special weight to maiden claiming. They win 33% of the time. This is what he does here. Has got beat by some nice ones, has speed, and then Hector Berrios is aboard. So I'm going to do the same thing as George and single Reno here.
All right, 2 singles there, Gino. Are you making it a trifecta here to single to start the pick 5?
No, I do like Reno. Reno will be on the ticket for me. I was more worried about George because the last time he had vodka, he said a lot of dirty words. The number 2, dirty words. Who's a little bit of a player in here, but the horse actually I think is interesting and could be really nice value. So if Reno gets beat, it'll likely because there's others pushing Reno early on in here. Maybe the horse to the outside, Beneficial, has some speed. Maybe Burning Rubber tries to go on the drop-in class and push that one as well, not sit behind like they did last time out. If any of those horses push, I think the 8, B. Grayson, is very interesting. So if you look at B. Grayson's form, this is a horse who was on the dirt early on, a couple dirt races, then moved to the turf. when she faced Reno and Burning Rubber in July, that was after a year layoff. So that's not really a race that you can look at and say, oh, you know what? Those horses handled him easily, because he needed that race. Absolutely. Then in his next start off the bench, they dropped him in at maiden 50. He was third. He was right behind Dirty Words in that race. He was in tight. He lost about a length of positioning. He angled out. He closed really well. He just missed second that day. Then they went a mile last time out. And I think a mile is just a little bit too far. Now you get the cutback for this horse at the maiden 50 level, sprinting. I think if someone comes launching late, it's B. Grayson. So I'm going to use 7, 8, depending on the rest of the ticket. The 9 was my wild card beneficial. Dam was a multiple graded stakes winner with a couple synthetic wins. I like the outside draw for this horse. Third start off the long layoff. This one could actually sit pretty close if Reno stops. I'll probably go 7, 8, maybe 7, 8, 9 on one ticket.
All right, so single, and 7, 8, 9 to start. Skipper, we're going to you for leg 2. We're going a mile, maiden special weight for the girls here, and 2-year-olds actually. So the babies here are going long. What are your thoughts here in the second leg?
Yeah, the 3 Sounds Lucky. They paid $550 for this horse. Last time it got bumped at the start, both sides. Going in the turn, it was kind of in a tight spot in between horses. Had to stall a little bit, but I like the way that this horse galloped out. It galloped out past the winner. Rivera, I think, is a really nice horse, by the way. So I like the race that it comes out of. I'm going to put Sounds Lucky on the ticket. And the other one I'm going to use is Mistrial. Both Baffords. I'm going to leave the 4 out of it. Mistrial, J.J. Hernandez obviously had his choice between the 3 and 5. He chose the 5. So I'm going to go 3 and 5 only in this race.
All right, so 3, 5 there, Gino. And as we know, I'm going to guess that Mistrial is going to get a little bit of play being in my racehorse. So on the win end, probably no value, but in the pick 5, who knows? What are your thoughts here?
She's obviously got some issues. She had her debut wasn't very good. She had some trouble, and she didn't have a great start in either of the races. Second start, she was a little bit better out of the way. She was 3 deep. She does have a lone sibling that was better going long. I actually might go a little different in here. I do agree. Sounds Lucky. Trouble Trip looks like a horse that will stretch out much better. That one's in the mix for me. I think you have to mention Super Corredora, because if you look at the 2 fillies she lost to, those might be the number 1 and 3 or 4 fillies in the Breeders' Cup juvenile fillies in that race. We're talking about Bottle of Rouge and La Wally. Those 2 are going to be 2 of the top contenders. So she faced some of the best 2-year-olds so far. The other horse who I'm absolutely using is the 1, Total Val. This to me looks like an absolute 2 sprints to a route, stretch out kind of horse. This one's Dam one going long on the turf. If you just watch her race, she angles out. She closes really well. She finishes just behind Sound Lucky in that most recent race. If you like Sound Lucky, who was beat 5 lengths in there, Total Val was not far behind Sound Lucky, stretches out, and is probably going to be double the price of Sounds Lucky. So for me, it's going to be 1, 3, 4. I think I'm trying to beat the 5.
All right, trying to beat the 5 there for Gino. And Vodka George, what are you saying? What are the sheets looking at here in race 6?
Los sheets están buscando a Super Corredora. I'm sorry. Some of my Bad Bunny came out. I got some Bad Bunny come out. I'm sorry. Okay.
I had a friend that used to do that. He would accidentally speak Croatian. And we'd be like, no, Michael, it's Croatian. We don't understand what you're saying there. Wrong language.
I think that meant I'm singling the 4, but I have no idea.
No, I'm going to use more than the 4. But the 4, Gino, I just want to echo everything Gino said. The 2 runners that beat Super Corredora are Super Corredoras. They are super fast, super runners. Bottle of Rouge came back and won. La Wally, I bet La Wally today. She's phenomenal. She's run against the best and has held well. 2 sprints to a route is always a good thing. Hector Barrios could easily be a Hector Barrios daily double. The other one I'm using is number 1, Total Val, because if indeed Mistrial gives Super Corredora too much early heat, and maybe even Sound lately give him some heat, I think the most logical one, again, 2 sprints and then stretch out, is Total Val. Looks like a filly that's going to appreciate added distance. So I'm going to get the front runner, Super Corredora, and a closer in Total Val.
All right, so a lot of 1, 3, 4, 5s in different orders from you three. All right, let's move on to race 7. And this is the California flag. We're going down the hill, Gino. We always love down the hill. 6.5 furlongs. And what do you think about here in leg 3?
Just to start with the talking point, it's kind of interesting that Lovesick Blues, the 2, it has qualified for the Breeders' Cup Sprint and was actually going to take the time off between the Bing Crosby all the way to the Breeders' Cup Sprint. But trainer Librado Barasio said talked to a few people. The horse is doing so well. He just wanted to get a race in him. So it's interesting. You rarely will see a horse prepping for the Breeders' Cup Sprint in a Calbred stakes
Turf
down the
race.
hill on the turf. Right? It's totally different, but the horse can really run on anything, honestly. And Lovesick Blues has gotten pretty good as of late. But from you're not really supposed to bet a horse like this in this race, even if especially when it's not their A plan. You're trying to beat a horse like this. I think I do feel like with Booksmart in here, the real key to the race is Manor Rose able to sit off a little bit. He's shown before he can sit off the pace a little bit, because if he does, that puts him in a really good spot. I don't think Booksmart really wants to go this far. He has won at 6.5 on the dirt, but I think this is beyond where he's at his best. I will use Man of Rose because I think sitting just off the pace, one of the more likely winners in here. The others that I like, I'll mention one, Cali Cat, who's going to be a very big price. This is a horse who's a 3-year-old facing older. This is a horse who has been going a little bit longer. Look at the one race down the hill. It was really good behind Supersonic Blue. If they go quick early, this is a horse who can sit off the pace a little bit and finish. A lot of 5 and 6 for me. And then, maybe adding 1 or 2 in here, but those are going to be the top 2 for me.
All right, it's a lot of 5s and 6 there. I think the 6 can sit as well. Interesting. Yeah. Well, Georgie, let's go to you. I was going to bring up the 8 Flyover, who looks like might get a good trip from the outside, cutting back, and ran 5 furlongs last time. What are your thoughts here?
I really like number 1, Shea Brennan is going to be my top pick, and I think Shea Brennan. This is a highly competitive race. This is use as many as you can. I'm going to use the 1, the 2, the 3, the 6. I mean, there's many that I can use all if I can. But my top pick is Shea Brennan, who has never been on the turf, and I think is going to love the turf. Old Topper, I used to love betting Old Topper runners on the turf, and nobody trains horses better for the turf than the Sultan of Saad, Phil D'Amato. So this one just came out of nowhere with an incredible Thorograph number. So I don't know. I'm hoping that's good things to come. I think he's gonna like the grass. If he can repeat that last race, they'll all be running for second, and you'll probably get a good price. Rispoli, who does grass better than Rispoli? You got the connections are stellar. I think he's gonna love the turf. It's gonna be my top pick, but it's definitely a spread race.
All right, before we get to Skipper Gino, let's go sibling watch here. What have the siblings done here on Shea Brennan?
So I was looking at Shea Brennan. I thought would sit a pretty nice trip. Watch the replay of the last race. Was like, first time on the grass. Let's check it out. Damn, 0 for 8 on the turf. Siblings combined 0 for 24 on the turf, like 6 different horses that were all like 0 for 2, 0 for 3, 0 for 1. So that sort of steered me off the horse a little bit, just seeing that none of those horses even won. But if you are spreading around and using a few, I would not tell you off that. But for me, that made me a little bit colder, seeing that the pedigree, there was just nothing directly from the dam side or on the siblings.
George is now chugging vodka after hearing that. Skipper, are you going to use Shea Brennan? What are your thoughts in here in a very good race down the hill?
I am not. When I went out to the track for a little bit today, and right when I walked in, I saw a horse schooling, and that was number 4, Sir Rocket. I'm telling you, this horse looked really good schooling today. I think it's going to get a great trip behind the speed. I know Mike Smith jumps off and goes to Booksmart, but I liked what I saw from this horse. This horse likes to win. 8 starts, 3 wins. It's run good coming down the hill, lost by a head, 1 race, and then went to the lead and got beat by Private Gem, who came back to win again. So 4 is definitely going to be on my ticket. I like the work on the 22nd and 29th. I thought both of those were very good works. I'm going to use Cali Cat too. I think this horse will get a good trip. Manor Rose likes to win. That's got to be on the ticket. Then I really like the 8 Flyover. This horse goes from 5 furlongs to 6.5 down the hill. I think this horse will love it. It showed a new dimension last time, sitting off the pace. And I love Hector Barrios jumping aboard. The workouts were good. And I tell you what, I love the outside draw coming down the hill. So I'm going 4, 5, 6, and 8 on my ticket.
Yeah, that's my top pick as well, the 8 Fly Over. And very interesting race, to say the least. A lot of like George's top pick, never tried the turf, but I get it. The speed to angle here, Gino, like with the 6, the 2 coming in who doesn't need to run, but is doing so well. In an 8-horse field, there's a lot of different angles here.
The last 3 races are all kind of tricky. All 3 of these in a row that we're going to hit.
Yeah.
And, like the key to the ticket, like why I went skinny early, I just think Lovesick Blues. Listen, that last race was monstrous, but it was on the dirt. This is obviously a prep for the Breeders' Cup, as we talked about. I just thought that was a great bet against. Maybe he just wins anyways, but I'm not using them. And, with the 1 and 2 being 3-1 and 5-2, I just thought this might be a race where I could catch a little bit of a price without, it being one of the favorites.
Gotcha. Well, thanks for letting me know you're out here today, Skip. And we'll move on to race 8. Let's go back to Mr. Vodka himself, George O in race 8. We're going 5.5 furlongs, state bred maiden claimers for 50. What are your thoughts here?
Shea Brennan's never been out of the money ever, and Shea Brennan, they're talking crap about it. Oh, sorry, race 8. I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna go on my best bet of the day at Santa Anita Oy, and I have selfish reasons for making this run of the best bet of the day. The owner is Brett Wiener, who's giving me 2 free cruises. I'm never picking against him ever, no matter where he runs. Even if he's 1,000-1, my best bet of the day. But Final Table Lady, actually, biggest drop in the game, maiden special weight to maiden claiming, has shown speed. Cash took all the money that day last time. Has run into some good ones. Jasmina, she's definitely got speed. And, if she's going to win, dropping from maiden special weight to maiden claiming is the way to go. And did I mention that the owner gives me free cruises? I'm picking number 7 on top.
And if he's not watching, we will send a copy of this over to him just in case.
I love that guy.
Case cruise number 3 is on its way, George. So Final Table Lady certainly fits here, Skipper. What are your thoughts here in race 8?
This is a real tricky race for me. I'm going to use the 1, Kiss Me Coco, for Brian Cornier. Corner.
He's related to Payeras.
He was having some vodka with Georgie earlier. That's why he didn't call you at the track, Chappie.
Exactly. He was at the bar.
I'm going to use the 3, Victoria's Jewel. Papa Bedromo had a winner today. He started the meet off hot. Rispoli sticks with this one. I'm going to use the 5, A Great Shaking. I like the breeding on this one. Ryan Hansen, he does good first time out. I'm going to use the 6, Mark Glatt, dropping out of maiden special weight, Calbred to state bred 50. When he does this, he wins 35% of the time. And I'm also going to use the 10. The 10's my sneaky one. The breeding I like on this horse. I know it's been legged up over at Los Al for Chuck Treese. I wish it would have had a workout over Santa Anita, but he legs his horses up over there. At 10-1, I'm using that one too. So I'm going 1, 3, 5, 6, and 10.
All right. So he's leaving out the cruise ship horse, Georgie. More anger towards you. And Gino, what are your thoughts here? The 6, interesting. Drew the rail both times. Now finally gets outside. That's an angle we always like there. And the drop in class.
Was like logical, was kind of inside and got that inside trip, right? Was behind horses, moved through, finished 4th. But what's funny is actually, if you look at the 4, Blame It on Abby, she actually beat the 1, Kiss Me Coco. She beat the 2, Can You Dream? She beat I'm Not Vanilla Sky, and she beat Final Table Lady. She's finished in front of all those horses. That was in her career debut when she ran really, really well sprinting on the dirt. Then in her second start, she just kind of ran around in a circle that day. Actually, it was a pretty tough race. She just didn't really get into the stride. And if you look at her speed figures, it's pretty similar. Then she goes long on the turf. She cut back last time out. She's got a lower speed figure because it was at Los Alamitos, but she did not run poorly. She was in between horses. There were 4 across the lead. She held second. She was a clearly second place finisher that day. I think she's actually one of the ones in here where you can make a case for any of the 5 or so that I thought we talked about. 1, Victoria's Jewel, Blame It on Abby, I'm Not Vanilla Sky, and then Final Table Lady. But for me, I think Blame It on Abby's the interesting one. I might try to go use 1 or 2 in here. She'll definitely be on the ticket for me, as will I'm Not Vanilla Sky. Those are my top 2 in here. Kind of see how I build the rest of my ticket, others that I might use. But I was hoping that Skip or Chappie was going to at least try to say the name of the 8 horse in here. That would have been some entertainment for me.
That's why I didn't pick it, Gino.
Yeah,
I couldn't pronounce it, so I didn't pick it.
That's what I figured.
Pass a Lubong?
There you go.
Passing the bong. Passing the bong.
Well, when George was talking about liking a horse for a certain reason, I thought he was talking about this one.
Passing the bong.
Somebody was passing him something, but it actually means like welcome. A greeting, some kind of thing. So I looked it up whenever there's weird names. I was hoping we could stump Skippy or Chappie with this one.
Every week, Gino comes with some meaning. I like it. Some meaning of a horse, which is very, you're good at like knowledge that no one cares about. No, it's interesting though. I didn't mean no one cares about it. I mean,
no, because a lot of times
it's
like it's the spelling bee guy in me that's like trying to find the origin or like how to pronounce it, right? Like where does the word come from when you look at the dam and the sire a lot of times because there's something creative in there. So, and I get to show off a little bit if I'm on TV or hosting something.
I like it. Yeah. I like it. I'm a mixture, you guys. I was 3 deep, 4, 6, 7, 6, 7, 4 in that order. All right, Skipper, we're all alive. I think we can all be alive. Maybe we're moving into the final leg of the day, race 9, a 1 1/8 allowance optional claimer on the turf. What are your thoughts here to close it out?
This is a really, really tough race. I'm going to use as many as I can in here. I'm definitely going to use the 1 from Michael McCarthy. This horse has 2 wins over Santa Anita's turf course. There's not, I don't know. It doesn't look like there's a lot of speed in here. I think this horse will get a great trip from the inside. I love the 15-1 price. And I'm not using the 2 Alligato. I've seen this too many times. I bet this horse. I've loved it. I loved it last time, and it looked like it was going to motor right on by, and it just stalls. It looks like a pack horse to me. It always has to have a horse in front of it. It doesn't want to be the lead horse. So I'm leaving the 2 out. I'm definitely going to use Old Pal. This is a cowbred, but it likes Santa Anita, likes to win. Karushi Kimura jumps aboard for Mark Glatt. That's going to be on. Lahina Flavor is a nice price that I like too. I love Rispoli jumping on. JJ Hernandez gets off, but Rispoli jumps on. 3 wins over Santa Anita turf course. And you know what? That race on June 7th, it was only a mile, but that was a nice race. That was in a good time, 1:34.1. Last time it had a little trouble early, and I just think Lahina Favor is going to outrun its odds. I'm going to use Lamos. Jeff Mullins has been on fire. This horse he claimed 2 back. Last time at Del Mar didn't run that bad. Might not want to go that far. It went 1 mile and 3/8. This horse likes to win. 39 starts, 13 wins. City of Exile comes out of the best race. That horse has got to be on the ticket. My real bomb here is the 10, Maniatic. This horse is a first-time gelding, but this horse's French form is not bad. It has a couple of good speed figures, 106, 107, and 104. It's a 5-year-old. They gelded this horse. I didn't think the work on October 5th was bad at all. I think maybe the gelding will wake this horse up. So I am going 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10 on my ticket.
Gino, I wanted to single Old Pal so badly, but the lack of pace in here scares me a little bit.
That's what makes this race really tricky because there isn't the one for sure horse is going to the lead. Maybe the one, Phosphorescence, but there's 3 horses, I think, that can be close, and any of the three would be fine sitting as well between Phosphorescence, City Exile, and British Isles. So any of the three of them are fine getting the lead or sitting second. So I don't know if they're going to be pushing each other and battling. And if they're not pushing each other, then that sort of takes horses like Old Pal, Lahina Favor, like some of those deeper closers. It makes life a lot harder for them to get up, right? That's why, honestly, you start going through this field, it's really hard to eliminate anyone based on what could happen as Skip was going through. I mean, even Alligato, who we've chased a bunch of times, he's actually putting the blinkers on this time, which interests me a little bit. Like, can maybe just give him more focus and have him be just a little more mid-pack and not way at the back. I think you really want to get to this race with as much coverage as you can afford to have to close, because this is such a challenging race. 1, 6, 3, definitely on my ticket. Something just to mention with Old Pal, I know he's going to be one of the favorites, but it's so cool when you see a horse like this where every race that he's run based on his speed figures, he's improved. Every single race. That's so cool, and that's such a great job for Mark Glatt and what they've done with this horse, when you can just get a little bit better every time you go out there. We know what he is, though. He's going to drop back. He's going to need some pace, and he's going to make one late run. So if they don't go fast enough, he comes running for second or third. 1, 3, 6 for me, definitely. And then however many others I can afford. I do like Skip mentioning the outside horse. That is a fun long shot to throw in on your deeper tickets. This horse had no shot last time out, really slow start. You get the first time gelding, and this horse does have some serious backclass from a few years ago over in France. So maybe the outside horse for at least like bottom of exotics if you're playing tries and supers, and maybe a fun pick 4, pick 5 ad.
Now, you guys both said Lahina. Isn't it Lahaina before? But, I'm not Mr. Expert on names. But, George, what do you have to say? Lahina or Lahaina?
I think it's Lahaina, and Shea Brennan, two bullet works since the nice win, 2 bullet work, but his brothers can't run, so whatever. Oh, I'm sorry. We're back to race 9.
Those are on the turf or the dirt,
talking about race
or
7.
on the,
I'm sorry.
the backyard oval and your backyard
George is
oval.
very angry about the Shea Brennan.
Shea Brennan, and we're sure he's no good. All right, so anyway, when I was at Univision, there was like this really handsome guy named Carlos Ponce, and he couldn't date all the girls, so the girls that he threw away, I was like, I'll date them, because they were really nice. So I'm taking the horse that Skip threw away. And, Skip is great, but he threw away Alligato. I love Alligato in this race. So I'm gonna take Skip seconds here. I think Alligato is gonna come flying. They add blinkers. Him and Old Pal, those are the two I like the best, but try to spread as much as you can. Thanks, Skip. I'll take Alligato. Thank you.
So do the blinkers go on you, George, or do they go on Alligato?
My blinkers are on Shea Brennan.
It all depends. Now, speaking of that, George, real quick, this is way off topic, but George used to do a show back in the day with Sofia Vergara. So now, did this guy date her, or was
No, he didn't. She was kind of untouchable in them days. She was the queen of Univision. Even Carlos Ponce was like, I don't think I can get that.
Joe Manganiello for earlier, right? They were together.
Yeah. She was
another tangent. I saw them at like one of the. I'll go to like local wrestling shows. I'm a huge wrestling fan, so if they have big shows, I'd go to local ones. She was sitting in the crowd with Joe, and then the wrestlers were talking trash to Joe, like flirting with her during the show. She was actually a really good sport, and I remember being like, "Wow, I like her a lot more now that she was like playing along with the joke and being really cool about it." Yeah,
I love it.
She was nice, but there was nobody more beautiful than her at Univision at that time.
Yeah. Skip, before we close it out here, do you have any Sofia Vergara stories?
Sofia Vergara story.
You went out in left field there to end the show.
No, the only stories I got about her is a buddy of mine works for the show.
He's got a story.
He's the music guy. So with her and Heidi Klum, he says that they're so beautiful and they're very cool and very nice, which is nice to hear. But he says, she's as beautiful as she looks on TV, if not better.
Wow. Everybody had a story about Sofia Vergara at the end, and I don't. But I did meet the Royal Highness Duchess of where today?
But I have a story
I
about
can't-
you, Chappie.
Belgium today. Yes.
We're all talking about
I
how
have a
great
little Belgian pin on they gave me here. So
Ooh.
I can speak from experience that you look even better in person too, Chappie. So I can tell
thank
everybody
you.
that for sure.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
I now know, this is the last thing before we close out, sorry, what a code 3 means. Code 3 in police talk is they actually they don't shut the freeways down, but they get a police escort with the sirens on, which happened today on the 210
Wow.
Right.
for the
Oh, wow.
Royal Duchess Highness of Belgium.
You know,
Wow.
it was weird because I went up to the suites and like the last 3 suites, they had like Secret Service. Like they're
Yeah.
sitting there and you
Yes, they
can't
were
go
Secret
anywhere near. And
Yes.
then like, I'm like, what is going on? Who's here? Then I go out to the valet and I asked one of the guys, I said, who is this? And he says, she's the Princess of Belgium. And he says they just got a police escort with their entourage from SoFi Stadium, you know, with all the traffic at 3:00 in the afternoon on a Friday.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? But Secret Service people were outside. They were all over the place. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of preparing going on for that. They were late. They missed everything that was going to happen, but it worked out okay.
I guess she was there for to look over the equestrian for the Olympics. Is that right?
I'm not sure. I didn't get all the privy to the information. I was down there amongst them all, so you know, I made all my employees call me king or bow to me today because I felt like royal.
You didn't get the pin, so you must have did a good job, buddy.
Well, when I met with their team this morning, they told me to make sure everybody wore some kind of badge or whatever around them, and I'm like, I give mine all away. I know but I was like, I know everybody around here. I don't have to. So they actually gave me that. They were like, can you put this on? Then we know you're good to go. So there you go.
I didn't get any pins.
Well, you didn't tell me you were here once again, so there you. I would have given it to you. But anyways, all right, Gino, real quick. So we went way off topic there. Wrap it up. Everything that's coming into the weekend here to look forward to at Santa Anita, including Monday racing.
Yeah, another extra day of racing on Monday. We just went through the pick 5, the late pick 5 for Saturday at Santa Anita. Don't forget about the carryovers in the Coast to Coast pick 5 and the Sunset 6. You can always find all that information right on the website, the sequences, the races that you need. So it'll be Gulfstream and Santa Anita combining those two tomorrow. Both of them have pick 5 and pick 6 carryovers. Pick'em.santanita.com. It's the best free contest out there. You can win $500 every Saturday and every Sunday. And then for tournament players, they got some really good ones coming up tomorrow. Keeneland has some tournaments, and then Santa Anita always has tournaments every weekend, different feeders at ExpressBet. They have some for Charlestown as well. So whatever track you like, whatever amount is affordable for you, take a look over at ExpressBet.
All right, I love it. Before I let you go, real quick, because I want to get Giorgio fired up a little bit. Skipper, we'll talk to you. Key horse of the day tomorrow in the late pick 5 for you.
Well, key horse. I guess the key horse is going to have to be Reno because that's either I'm going to be alive or I'm not going to be alive after Reno. But my bomb is in the last, the 10, hoping that at 30-1, this first time gelding goes back to that French form, you know, bombs away.
He likes Reno. Gino?
Said he's hoping to be alive after Reno. I was like, oh man, it's going to be a tough night in Reno for Skip. Jeez, he parties different than I do.
Your thoughts, Gino? Do you have your key horse?
Yeah, for me, the most interesting horse probably going to be race number 7, Cali Cat at a really big price. Blame It on Abby would be my more logical horse in a race. I think a lot of people will use 4 or 5 different ones in there. If I can shorten up a little bit with Abby, that could give me some separation in pick 5s and other tickets.
And your non-pedigree top play of the day, George?
Shane Brennan.
The horse has to either win by 5 or finish last. No in between. Just one or the other.
He's never been out of the money, ever.
All right, thanks, you guys. Everybody, good luck this weekend. First post tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, 1 o'clock. We will see you again next week. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck, everyone.